As intermittent fasting becomes more popular, the difficulties adapting to this lifestyle become more obvious. But regardless of our age, the benefits for our health, our fitness, and our physical appearance are worth it. The goal is to reach what scientists now call the cyclic metabolic switch and its benefits for the long term. This goal can be reached with a spectrum of intermittent fasting regimes that vary depending on the duration of the fasting window.
By repeating intermittent fasting every day, your metabolism will cycle between a catabolic or ketogenic state and an anabolic or non-ketogenic state. In the catabolic state, the glycogen reserves are consumed and the body fat is mobilized to produce ketones. In the anabolic state, cell growth and plasticity pathways are triggered. These provide benefits for the body that are not possible with continuous caloric restriction or the ketogenic diets. The scientific research is in its infancy in this subject. However, we may speculate that an individual can adapt to ketosis with various fasting windows. To reach this keto-adaptation, the patient must engage in a cyclic routine of fasting windows day after day. OMAD, 1 meal a day, may be the most demanding of these regimens, but it is sustainable over years. The benefits may include more than just body weight loss. It may include the prevention of diseases typical of aging individuals. So it is definitely worth the effort to adapt to OMAD as your own lifestyle. But you may become keto-adapted by less demanding regimens. If you have decided to go into OMAD or have tried it in the past but did not stick with it, here is what you should know. Everyone can make the metabolic switch. But if you are still not convinced that you can, let's start without changing your 3-meal-a-day routine. During the night, you can make a 12-hour fast naturally without major changes in your eating habits. Have your last meal between 6 and 7 p.m., for example. The next morning, have your regular exercise routine between 6 and 7 a.m. before your breakfast. Thanks to norepinephrine, you will begin your transition to a ketogenic state with that early morning workout. See my previous video on the subject. Then, you should see an increase in your performance as the ketones become your main source of energy. Longer or more intense exercise routine will be a sign that you are becoming keto-adapted. If you work 8 hours a day and commute to work, this approach might be the easiest. To achieve keto-adaptation, be sure that your breakfast is savory rather than sweet and consisting mostly of proteins and fats rather than carbohydrates. Reducing your carbohydrate at lunch and dinner may help too. Then you may consider moving to a smaller eating window. You can progressively go from your 3 meals to the 18-6 regimen by eliminating your breakfast and then slowly reducing the time between your lunch and your dinner. Keep in mind that scientific studies talk about this type of intermittent fasting as time-restricted eating. Such studies generally include the 16-8 or the 18-6 regimens. What is not clear is how much fasting is needed to reach a beneficial level of autophagy. However, we do know that high-intensity interval training works with fasting to reach ketosis and autophagy and sustain them for longer time.
When I started OMAD 15 years ago, I persevered from the start and I maintained it day after day. However, if you are keto-adapted by one of the 2 previous regimes, you could start OMAD 23-1 with less difficulty.
But is OMAD better than 16-8? That is an unresolved question. Because of my experienced health and fitness benefits of OMAD, I would not want to change my routine. Not ever.
As I reach my late 60s, I look and feel better than the majority of men my age.
You should experiment with these 3 regimens and transition from the first to the third until you figure out what best suits you. I recommend OMAD because it's what I have done for years and the benefits are obvious. I can guarantee, however, that you could do OMAD if you decide to do so. All it takes is determination. With keto-adaptation, your body will learn to extract energy from your body fat in the form of fatty acids. These fatty acids will be transformed into ketones in the liver. Your body, including your brain, will be able to use these ketones as a source of energy. If you have tried intermittent fasting but failed to reach the 21 days, do not give up. This does not mean that you will never succeed. Quite the contrary. It may be that you have already made great progress to complete the cyclic metabolic switch. Give yourself some time and start over. Try as many times as you consider necessary. Make notes about changes in your body weight and energy with every attempt. One day soon, you will see that your body has adapted. You will have control over your urge to eat, and you will notice an increase in your performance in sports and training. If you have symptoms of chronic diseases such as diabetes, they will soon slowly begin to ameliorate. I do my OMAD every day because I prefer consistency day after day. Especially now that we know that cyclical repetition has great benefits according to the cyclical metabolic switch model. Others have a cheating day built in their routines to fit family and social activities such as dinners and parties. So, missing a day is by no means a failure, merely a break in your new lifestyle. Your keto adaptation will resume as you return to your regimen. Our goal is to make the cyclic metabolic switch permanent.
The truth is that we are evolutionarily adapted to feast and fast, thanks to our hunter-gatherer ancestors. This is why intermittent fasting together with high-intensity interval training is for everyone, and the benefits are countless. So, for you who are in your first baby steps, and for me after 15 years in OMAD, life is looking up. Thank you.